What's going on, GP Gaming? I am Sviatoslav with more Total War Attila online multiplayer battles. This is a 2 vs 2. Myself and Genghis are both commanding the Tanukhids, and we are going up against the Western Roman Empire and the Lakhmids. Now, before the battle starts, we decide to do a hard flank on the Tanukhids' right flank. So what we did is, we both took 4 Tanukhid ambushers. Now these guys, they have guerrilla deployment and they have stalk. So guerrilla deployment lets them deploy outside of the normal deployment zone, and stalk allows them to remain hidden in any terrain. So these guys right here are hidden just because they're so good at hiding. They can hide in any terrain, completely open terrain, so those units cannot see them. And on top of that, I brought 4 Desert Palatina defectors, 3 Desert Tribesmen, and 6 Mavias Chosen with the Desert Chieftain General. Now these Mavias Chosen are extremely fast, they're extremely fragile, but they have 301 base charge bonus, and when you use Frenzied Charge, they have 377 charge bonus. That is absolutely disgusting. So the battle starts and the rush begins. My ally Genghis, he took a similar army, except instead of Mavias Chosen, he brought armored camel warriors, and instead of desert tribesmen, he brought elite Nubian archers. So we start moving up. The Tanukhid player notices that there's some guys to his flank, so he decides to charge in his Al-Doswer cavalry. Does huge damage on the Tanukhid ambushers. Tanukhid ambushers are only very light, and these Al-Doswer are heavy melee cav. So he's gonna do tons of damage, but he only got 1 charge in. His other unit got tied down before they could get the charge. So my ally sent in his units. We didn't want to reveal everything all at once, so I waited a little bit to reveal my units, and I'm rushing up. The enemy has some slingers. Look how fast these Mavias Chosen are. Remember, this is normal speed, and they're moving that fast because these guys are very light shock cavalry. Watch the devastation. I do a frontal charge along his whole line. Look at this. Now this was actually pretty good. I didn't do that much damage here because I got stuck on the Armenian slingers. But over here, look at his general. He's just dropping. Look at how fast. That general's already at half. That's a few seconds. It's like 10 seconds and his general went from 60 to 20. That's insane. So I realized I didn't get the charge, and I'm starting to pull out my cav. And I'm bringing more cav over here. I'm swinging around my Tanukhid ambushers. My ally Genghis, he's moving up against the Western Romans, pinning them in their defensive formation that they've committed to. Moving up his elite Nubian archers really close. He really didn't need to get that close, but I guess he wanted to focus fire on the enemy general. Looks like he's using heavy shot too. So I'm moving up my infantry. He doesn't have much left. He's got some Sanai. They're good infantry, but they're just not going to stand up to Mavias Chosen on the charge. So the Tanukhid flank is starting to crumble. They only have 1 cav unit left. Desert Tribesmen getting into the Sanai. What are these? These are my Desert Palatina defectors. They're getting in. The Tanukhid player, he was really slow to react with his Sanai over here. They're still just walking while the rest of his units are getting surrounded and destroyed. It looks like he's just going to blob up all of his units. So over here, the enemy line is crumbling.
Our men flee the field of battle.
The Western Roman Empire, he brought no cavalry. He just brought a bunch of Herculeane Senoras. Now these guys are great units, but that's pretty much all he has. And then he has some elite spearmen. And if you guys have watched any of my battles, any of my videos, you will know that elite spearmen in Attila are wastes of money. It is extremely hard to make elite spear units cost effective in Attila, in multiplayer. So here, he's got all his units blobbed up on one of my Desert Palatina defectors. I'm gonna get a really bad charge actually in there. But Genghis is coming in with his Desert Warlord. Gonna get a pretty good downhill charge. He needs to pull out. I'm swinging my general around. See, most of my Mavia's chosen got destroyed actually. I've got 1 unit, 2 units, but they've taken a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Even though they barely got shot, they're extremely fragile units. They are the epitome of a glass cannon unit. The Mavi is chosen. So the Western Roman Empire, he's doing the right thing. He's trying to flank the Desert Palatina defectors, and in fact he is. Herculeani Signors are going to make mincemeat of Desert Tribesmen and pretty much all of our infantry. They will destroy. So I'm starting to surround this blob. Just throwing more men into the fray. Surrounding with my general. Moving around, more Mavi is chosen. Some of his units are not actively fighting. Like this one's just kind of chilling there. They're not even facing the right way. So Genghis is still... Looks like it's a good chance he might have killed the enemy general. Now this is not good. He blobbed up his elite Nubian archers. You never want to blob up your units in Attila. That's another thing that you'll know if you've watched any of my videos. So this is also not very good. He's doing an uphill charge against very heavy melee infantry that's in defensive testudo. Now defensive testudo actually works, and it gives the unit like bracing bonus, shield bonus, and bonus versus cavalry. So it basically turns him into a pseudo spear unit in defensive testudo. So this is really bad. He should have just gone around and charged these units in the back. So Genghis is... Oh, I missed the charge. The Mavi's chosen came in and got a big charge. So what are these? Sanai? Yeah, these are the Sanai. The Sanai are starting to run. Mavi is chosen coming in for a final charge. Making the Sanai waver. I'm bringing in the rest of my cav just to seal the deal. I've got this enormous blob. The Sanai, they have good morale. I'll give them that. So I have most of my army alive, most of my infantry, most of my cavalry actually died. Genghis has some of his Tanukhid ambushes still over here. And they're not doing anything. That's not good. His general's really far away. He needs to come back. He needs to support his units. So over here, at least, what Genghis did do is that he's tying down the enemy. And as you can see, the Herculeani Signors still took a pretty good beating from the armored camel warriors. Well, never mind. Just that only that one unit did. This one unit on the flank must have been shot or something, because it's taken significantly more casualties than all the rest of these Herculeani Signors have. So over here, ooh, the general's charging in the back of the Herculeani Signors. Mavi is chosen, charging in. Pulling out with my warlord. Throwing in more Mavi is chosen.
A unit is running from the enemy.
Mavi is chosen, breaking on the pullout. Yeah, these guys, they're very light shot caps, so they can deal the damage, but they cannot take the damage. The enemy still has about 50% ammo on his Revenant Elite Ballistarii. He's getting really close shots into my Desert Tribesmen. That's fine. That's what the Desert Tribesmen are here for. My Desert Tribesmen engaging the Herculeani Signores, locking them down. They're not going to kill them at all. They'll do some damage, but what they're going to do is they're going to lock them down for the rest of my infantry to come in. Now these Tanukhid ambushers do tons of damage, insane amounts of damage. And these Desert Palatina defectors do a fair amount of damage, but they're a good bit tankier. So it looks like Genghis is finally pulling out the armored camel warriors, or they just routed. These Herculeani Signors are actually losing to the Desert Tribesmen and the armored camel warriors. I'm sending in more swords, getting in more charges, sending in Just sending in all my infantry against the Western Roman Empire. This right here is not good. He's got 3 Herculeani Senores trying to deal with 1 Desert Palatina defector. One of these Herculeani Senores will just wipe the floor with his Desert Palatina defectors. He doesn't need all those units to kill that 1 unit of Genghis. He needs to use those other units to kill other units of ours. But he's not doing that, so that's helping us out. Genghis is going to get a good rear charge in the Ravenna Elite Balistarii. Look, oh my god, they all just fell over. Look at that damage.
This is a shameful display.
So I'm getting into these Herculeani Senores in the rear with my Tanukhid ambushers. Getting hit with darts. Most of the Western Roman Empire units have been destroyed. The game is pretty much ours at this point. There's nothing they can really do. These Herculeani Senores are completely surrounded. The Camel Warriors, Desert Palatina defectors, Tanukid ambushers, Desert Tribesmen. Swinging my general around because he's the only cav unit left for me. All the rest of my Mavius Chosen died. Getting a good downhill charge. Gonna do tons of damage. Gonna need to pull him out. There we go. I pull him out. Swinging in the rest of my infantry. The game's basically over. Herculeani Senores routing due to army losses. And that's game. So there you see what a good surprise attack can do. So as you can see, my Mavius Chosen got plenty of kills. Tanukid ambushers, plenty of kills. General, plenty of kills. Desert Tribesmen, not so much, but they're cheap units. They only cost, it's either 275 or 375. Either way, they're fairly cheap. Desert Palatina defectors getting a decent amount of kills. Look at these Ravenna Elite Balistarii, both of them getting over 250 kills. That's really good. That's what you want out of elite missile units, and they were only down to about half ammo, so both of these units could have gotten around 500 kills, maybe 450 if they used all of their ammo. The Lakhmid player got very few kills. His Aldosser got some kills, but that was mainly on Genghis's Tanukid ambushers. Genghis, he didn't use his cav as effectively as I used mine, but he got some decent kills on some of his units. Now Baller, he protected his Ravenna Elite Balistarii pretty well until the end, and then he just got surrounded, so there wasn't much more he could do. Got his guys lots of kills.